To our Alabama fans, on this January 13th, 2024, we offer a moment of silence for the passing of an era. That's about all I can stand. Welcome to the Bucks Island Area Fishing Report for Saturday, January the 13th. Yes, it is the passing of an era, but it's also the passing of the year, and fishing season is on us. We talked to Gentry, Tom, Lee, and Josh to find out how you can put a few more fish in the boat. Alabama fans need something to pass the time. We'll be right back with what the guys have to say. Good morning, everyone. This is Dan O'Sullivan with your Bucks Island Area Fishing Report for Saturday, January the 13th. We got our man Josh Herron, who's joining us to talk a little bit of Logan Martin and Lay Lake fishing. Josh, muddy, cold water, got some rain, got some temperature. Things are starting to move a little bit and change, correct?
Yeah, they're definitely not going to be wandering around out in La La Land this week. If they do, they better have their parachute on. They're going to be sliding kind of quick. But no, man, this is kind of what I've been hoping for. Not so much the cold muddy, but definitely the muddy or
Yeah.
the colored up at least. It's going to take a few days for this thing to kind of settle in and get some fish kind of positioned where they need to be. So this week might be a little bit of a struggle just for the rapid influx of water that we had and the color. For the next week or two, once these fish kind of stabilize to it, it ought to put some fish on the bank, make them a little bit more approachable. You'll be able to start catching them on stuff like little shallow running crankbaits, flat side, square bills, chatterbaits, stuff like that. They're going to go to hard cover, and with the water temperatures, it's primarily probably going to be rock.
Is it time for a shad wrap yet?
No, we're not. I mean, we're getting close. I mean, February's traditionally been the month where it really shines around here. So we're getting close to it. It seems to be that 48 to 50 degree water temperature is really where that thing starts kind of clicking in at.
Okay.
So and, I'm not a fan of it, but it does get mugged. So you got to love it. But no, there's a lot of other really cool baits that kind of fit into that genre too that are easily accessible. Cliff Pace makes some black label stuff. It's
Yeah.
little balsa. It's kind of cool. Even stuff like Spro, Shallow Run and Little John.
Yep.
Really cool little bait. So you kind of want to get away once the water temps get below that 53, 54. You kind of want to taper back to like those flat sided baits that are a little bit tighter, not quite as much big body roll baits, but more like little thumpy baits. So stuff like that's really what we gear towards. But lay, man, the bottom end, it's going to clear up pretty quick, but it's still going to have enough color to where those fish ought to be about where they need to be. They're going to start gearing up on like some of these bluff end type deals and current breaks.
I know I'm looking forward to getting some of those limited run Tato designs by Mr. Jacob Herron out there and giving them a run this cold weather season. I know that.
Yeah, we just got to make him work.
I don't think he's gonna. I think we got what we're gonna get.
That sounds like it.
Brother, we appreciate everything. Thanks for the time as always. We'll talk to you again soon.
See you, boys.
Good morning, everyone. This is Dan O'Sullivan with your Bucks Island Area Fishing Report for Saturday, January the 13th. Hey, we got our man Gentry Gordy who's on a day off out there working on the water. What's happening at Lake Martin and at Jordan Lake these days?
Well, I'm on Lake Martin right now, Dano, and honestly, there ain't a whole lot happening. I've been up here, I don't know, an hour and a half or so. I got a late start. I got off work this morning. The water it's got a haze to it. It's not stained by any means. And I'm gonna work my way back here in Blue Creek. I think there's some muddier water or stained water back in there. The problem is the water came up 2 feet with all the rain we got. So it's a little unstable right now with the watercolor changing and it coming up 2 feet, and and they're trying to draw it back down. But just not a lot of activity. I think as it stables out a little bit, maybe another day or two, you probably see some better fish being caught with a little bit murkier water.
So you're getting some color now, correct? And and then we get some sun. I know it's going to be cold the rest of the week, but will the fish respond to the sun?
Yeah, these fish on Martin, especially your spotted bass up here on Martin, a cold front or something, it don't really affect these fish as much as a changing of the water level or the color. But as far as cold goes, these spots up here, it don't bother them. I think it'll be, you can get a little bit closer to the bank and target some of those stumps or trash piles you see in a couple feet of water without spooking, without having to make long casts. But you're jerk baiting all in the morning. and with a little bit of wind, your jerk bait and stuff will play all day.
What about Jordan Lake? Let's turn our attention there. What are you hearing out of Jordan?
Jordan's getting a lot better. This is what, we've talked about it for months. I know. Getting some muddy water at Jordan, it'll kind of, it brings those fish up where they'll get around the bank to my style of fishing. Your big thumping spinner baits in that dirty water, your dead grass lines, chatterbait, squarebill. Jordan's fixing to be fun as far as my style of fishing. Now, you can still catch them, doing your drop shot and stuff like that, but that dirty water is going to affect that, But as far as running the bank goes, just moving baits, big thumping spinner baits, Jordan's fixing to get on fire.
Is it time for a football jig there? One of those kinds of deals? Maybe a little thump on the bottom with some rock piles?
Yeah, and I like to reel it, real slow. Instead of working it, I almost just reel it, just barely, and just let that jig just, bump them rocks as a slow, steady retrieve, and it'll really fire them big spots up.
Gentry, as always, brother, man, we appreciate it. Thanks for the time. Go catch a few. Send us some pictures.
All right, brother. Take care.
Good morning, everyone. This is Dan O'Sullivan with your Bucks Island Area Fishing Report for Saturday, January the 13th. Hey, we're joined by Lee Pitts. Lee, we're going to talk a little bit of Neely Henry and Weiss Lake. I want that Jack Hawk 5,000 fishing report from Weiss Lake. What's going on?
Woo, yeah, bring it. Well, really, it's good to talk about that because you can sharpen it right now and cut line with it and readjust some baits because what I'm looking at out here right now is it's a lot of mud and a lot of wind and kind of rough out there.
Not the time to be going crappie fishing, I would assume, right now. Maybe some bass fishing, but you probably better go shallow, correct?
Yeah, we got a lot of water coming in right now, a lot of stain coming. So really, this is a good time for all of us that we need to just get in your boat, work on tackle a little bit. You can still catch some fish if you just got to get out there. The biggest thing is watch for trash. I'm sitting out here in front of my house, and we got a whole lot of wood coming down the river. A lot of big logs are coming through there. So it's one of those things. If you are going to get out, be careful, watch what you're doing, and just kind of remember it's cold, it's muddy, and that old water ain't no place to be right now with a bunch of clothes on.
Okay, so if somebody does want to go fishing, what should they be looking for?
Try to find a little bit of cleaner water. The one thing with Weiss, when they are pulling and pulling the turbines like they are, you can find it cleans up some of the backs of these bays, and these fish, they're trying to get out of that stuff too. So as long as we can get some sunshine coming up, the back of the bays are cleaning up a little bit. That's what I would look for. And still something you can slow down, pitching some plastics, maybe a jerk bait if you can find some water clean enough to throw it, and just kind of slow down and just give them a chance to look at it and see if they'll come pick it up.
See, in Neely Henry, I think right now what you want to look for is if you've got a creek channel that kind of goes back against the flow of the river so that it doesn't pour right in there. That's where you're going to find some of that cleaner water too, correct?
Yeah, if you can find some of that, like you said, that the way it's angled, where the mud's coming on past it and it doesn't have a chance to really get in it. And right now, especially with some sunshine, if you can look and find some rocks, some riprap, something like that that's got a little water on it, those fish are going to lay up in it to get some heat off of it.
Right now is the time for jerk baits. It's time for lipless crankbaits, lift and fall. Alabama rigs are good, and a little bit of shaky head fishing, I would assume, correct?
That's it, man. You nailed it.
Lee, as always, brother, we appreciate it. We'll talk to you again next week.
All right, guys. Better news next week.
Good morning, everyone. This is Dan O'Sullivan with your Bucks Island Area Fishing Report for Saturday, January the 13th. Hey, we're joined by the crappie stud himself. Him and St. Jennifer are just throwing them slabs in the boat, snacking on them, frying them, making sandwiches out of them, all kinds of things. Tom, what's going on up there at Guntersville?
Oh, it's been a fish taco fest, I can tell you that. Looking for those bass to start biting. I mean, we're coming up on tournament season, so everybody's starting to get out there a little bit more, roaming around. It's been a little tough. I think this weather coming in is gonna give us some rain, give us some cold wind, probably get things moving a little bit. But I don't think that you can expect to go out there and just catch a ton of fish. But right now we're catching some really big fish. Most of them are out staging areas, or staging outside of creek channels, things like that. And they're generally with some more fish. So, and around bait, obviously, a lot of stripers are running with these fish. A lot of yellow bass are running with these bass. And you just kind of have to pick your moments. But I'm telling you, an A rig is really primo right now. And as those guys proved a couple of weeks ago, big swim bait is definitely the ticket.
So what kind of depth are you looking at, and what kind of sizes are you seeing kind of grouped up right now?
If we're fishing over those creek channels, we're probably looking at anywhere between 15, 12, 15 foot, and then off the ledge that could drop down in anywhere into 20 to 25 foot. Uh, you know, I'm kind of a shallow guy. I don't really like to fish that deep, but anywhere in that 12, 14, 15 foot range is definitely money right now. Anywhere you can find grass in that 10-foot range, there's some bass that are hanging out there. Some of those larger fish are kind of grouping, just their ones and twos and singles. Like, they're starting to get these longer days, starting to spread out somewhat. But you can still find some nice groupings of fish in the 3 to 6 pound range. They're still running in some small schools, chasing bass, specifically out there. Maybe in the Pine Island area. Some on the lower end of Pine Island. Historically, always been really good. Still a lot of fish being caught out there right now.
Tom, brother, we appreciate everything. Thanks for the insight. Keep putting them in the boat, man. We appreciate it.
All right, guys, y'all have a good one. Tie lines, and we'll catch you out there.
Well, that'll do it for our Bucks Island area fishing report for Saturday, January the 13th. Hey, we're full tilt here at Bucks Island in the new year. We're still on our winter hours, Monday through Friday, 8 to 5, Saturdays, 8 to noon. Come by and see the boats. We got plenty to get you on the water. We got the stuff to keep you on the water, and we got stuff to put the fish in the boat. Come see us in the sales department, the parts department, the service department, and the loft. We're here to help you at Bucks Island. You are our favorite part of being in this business. We appreciate you, and we will talk to you again next week.